you might be able to tell from the pile of dash parts in front of me that I'm having a crack at taking out the dash. I've never worked on a Galaxy before, so I'm just finding my way, sort of going, oh, there might be a screw behind here, I'll pull that off. Might be a screw behind that, I'll pull that off. And just chipping away at it. I've been working by braille for ages to try and get the screws out from up under the dash. I need to finally give up and get upside down under there with the flashlight and find that none of the screws are in it. So that was a waste of time. But I will press on and keep fighting with it and see if I can get it off without breaking it. I did find there was one screw under here, but I've got to carry on with the braille method of trying to get out. One of those ones you can either see it or put a tool on it, but not do both at the same time. Probably a reason why this screw is still in here. Well, that screw is in there utterly freaking sideways. Hopefully it's not actually screwed into anything. Bit of windscreen glue here holding it on. Any screws down through the vents? Not obvious ones. Screw hiding in here that's pulled through the vinyl. Tricky one. Woohoo! That crooked screw over here is not attached. Oh, what a win. Okay, now we've got the dash out of the car, we can have a proper look at it. Got a bit of grot on it that'll clean off of there. Bit of a crack here. Oh, what's this? Oh no, it's stuffed. Definitely going to need some pretty serious repairs here. Look at that, guy. Is he supposed to be floating there? I don't know. Never repaired a dash before, but what I was planning to do was just sort of break off all the loose broken stuff and sort of give it a bit of a skim with some filler maybe. Not too worried about it being squishy as long as it's flat. Skim with some filler and then seal it and glue over some new vinyl. Was my plan. I've no idea how successful that'll be, but we'll give it a crack. Might do some YouTubing and see how internet professionals tackle it first, but yeah, I'm sure I can do better than what it looks like now. Okay, it's been a while since I've worked on the car, so here I am back making another video. The shed is a mess at the moment. I've been working the last week or so on some props for my daughter's school disco. So I have got woodworking gear and paint and trestles and just junk all over the place from trying to get those finished in time. But that's all done now, so I can have a bit of a tidy up. The eagle-eyed viewer might notice that the car's facing the other direction. I think I managed to get it to drive out of the shed and back in. Very lurchy, transmission slipping, but I thought I'd give it another crack. Warmed it right up, topped up the fluid a bit more, and managed to get out and do a lap of the cul-de-sac. It's definitely not perfect, but I'm wondering how much of it is just that it hasn't been used and it might be a bit sticky going into the gears, it almost feels like. So yeah, after having got it out and turned it around, I managed to get it back into the garage. Not without incident, but I'll explain that later. And yeah, I drove it. It was pretty cool. Next thing I'm going to do now is back it back out of the shed so that I can have a proper tidy up in here, because I haven't been able to do that for ages with the car in the way. And then we'll get stuck into tidying a few things up, like the dash pad here. Now in the very first video where we got the car running, I talked about there being a switch hiding under the dash for the ignition. Now I've just jumped in the car to back it out of the shed. Had the key, got it cranking, banged the switch for the ignition and broke the bloody thing off. So now I've got to go through, pull out the switch, figure out where the wiring goes for it, and see if I can get it back to the key, because it's actually really annoying. Not how I plan to spend my day. I've taken the day off work to get stuck into moving forward and another step backwards, but geez, there are some fires waiting to start under here. We've got some totally exposed, twisted together wires hanging off the back of the key switch, some other random wires exposed and with a little bit of tape on, hanging out under the dash. We've got a broken switch. I'm willing to bet that a bunch of this is why the back window doesn't work. So this might be something for my dad to look at, being an electrician. But for now, I'm going to put some tape around it and just try and get the thing going again so I can carry on with my shed cleaning mission and keep working towards driving it. Alright, got some good old black electrical tape. Fix up all these exposed wires temporarily. Twist and tape. They forgot the tape. Yuck, you didn't see me do that, Ed. Okay, feeling slightly safer about this stuff now, since I don't know what any of it does. Shove that back up in there. Now, I found another switch. This one has got a metal click clacker on it. So I'm just going to put it back together with that for now, and that'll at least get me going and turn what's probably a couple of hours work into 5 minutes just to get the engine running again. And I can sort the rest of this crap out later. Another thing I love about this is the major use of black wire everywhere. On my ignition switch here, I've got black in and black out, and they go from the battery to the switch to the coil. Who doesn't love hot wires that are black? Mousetrap! And always, when you get a new classic car, you inevitably have to spend blimmin' ages under the dash, sorting crap out, getting back injuries, general misery. Love it. This is what we live for. Putting switches with 1/2" threads into 20mm holes with stupid stacks of washers. Hey, it works. So I'm not going to argue with something that works. No, it's a different size spanner to the last one. Click clack. Now, only God knows whether it's turned on or off. Smart man would have put the multimeter over it before he put it in to know, but me, I'll know when I connect the battery from the sparks. But I can't get at the battery because the car's too long and I can't get to the front of the shed. Oh, come on, you beast. That is the most it's definitely on. She's live. Okay, so the not without issue that I talked about before from firing it up and driving it out of the shed yesterday was that the other day I did an oil change on my Jeep, and that all went pretty south on me pretty quick when the oil capacity on the Jeep was just about equal with what my drain bowl could handle, and I got nasty black oil all over the driveway and was frantically running around cleaning that up, rags and things, and I left a rag sitting here on the top of the radiator because this was kind of a workbench, you know, Jeep's behind me in the driveway working away, and forgot to take away the rag. So when I hit the key, of course the rag got caught in the fan and went through the drive pulleys and wound itself up, made a funny noise, totally shredded the power steering belt, so that's gone off out of the car. Rag flapping around in here, tap 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 tap. The engine's making a bit of a tapping noise, it's a bit weird, but you go out and have a look. Flap, flap, flap. Oh, I know what happened here. So now's probably as good a time as any to put in the new belts that I've got, because I've got them. So I'll do that, and then I can at least have power steering. Driving it around the cul-de-sac with no power steering was very challenging. It is a big vehicle to have hardly any brakes because they're not bedded in yet, no power steering, and the lurchy McLurchy transmission was interesting. I bet I got some laughs from the neighbours. Putting things on the workbench again. Alright, alternator belt's not too bad. I can go into the spares kit. Just add a bit of stretch on it though, because we are heading for a different point on the adjuster. That might be the wrong belt. It is miles too long. Rats. Of course, all the markings are gone off the one that we deleted. We do a length comparison. Pretty similar. If there's enough in the adjuster. Maybe the interior bits. We did a big adjustment on the power steering pump. Alright, we have belts again. Yippee-ki-yay. Let's go. Brum brum. Alright, let's light some fire. Keys, where do I put them? Oh. Ah. Missing screwdriver. Found. Alright, take two. Let's light some fire. Definitely still needs tuning. convenient place to stop. It's definitely shifting in and out of the gears better and better every time I do it. So I'm thinking I might just do some forwards and backs here in the driveway and just keep working it. So today I booked the whole day off work with the intention of taking the Galaxy up to my dad's place, putting it on the hoist, and we were going to swing the engine and trans out to make a start on the trans rebuild. Since I've figured out that it's kind of semi-mobile, there's actually other stuff that I'd like to do first, like prep the window frame for putting the windscreen in. So now that I can move the car out of the garage, I thought I'd take the opportunity to have a tidy up, because it's been stuck in here for 6 months and I haven't been able to sweep the floor. Things have been piling up on the other side of it because it's too hard to get at. So I've done a bit of a sort out. I've changed around some of my bike storage stuff to hopefully make that a little bit more user friendly, squeezing down the side of the Galaxy since it's so hard to move, and tidied up some of my garden tool storage and swept the floor. Yay! Been hanging out to sweep the floor in here for months, but she's good now, so I can carry on with cleaning up the windscreen. The reason which I haven't done that is because it's going to make a mess and I didn't want to do it in the shed. I'm really not sure the best way to approach this, so it's going to be a bit of a trial and error. It's not the super sticky tacky gooey stuff that I've come across before, so I might be able to get a lot of it with a scraper. Give that a nudge, see what happens. Well, it was somewhat successful. I went and put some gloves on once I realised that lots of it was still full of tiny pieces of glass. But along the bottom it all mostly peeled off in one piece and left some pretty clean paint stuff there, so I'll see if I can go around the rest of the bottom of it with a solvent of some sort to get rid of the rest of the residue. But along the top is a bit of a mess and there is some surface rust to clean up. I haven't come across any holes yet, which I'm pretty stoked about. So I am going to give this a tickle up with the wire brush to try and get some of the crap off, and then we will get ready to put some paint on it, just to protect it for the future. Well, I failed to record that, but I had a crack at it with the wire brush on the drill and removed about an inch of goo before it fouled up the wire brush, and then it just melts it and peels it up into little balls, smears it all over it and makes a big mess. So I don't think that is going to be our solution. So I'm going to go and see what I've got in the way of solvents that I can scrub it with. A little bit of acetone seems to get it moving, but I need to Google and make sure that it's not going to take the paint off the car. Okay, well that was reasonably successful. Incredibly slow, tedious, pretty horrible job, but I managed to get it off using some fuel light and rags, some little wee brass wire brushes and the drill. It sucked, but it's done. It's damaged quite a bit of paint, and there was a couple of bits of surface rust that I've got to clean up as well, so I'll get some rust converter onto those and head out and get some primer so that I can just paint around the inside of that to make sure it's got plenty of integrity for the glass to adhere to, and hopefully mean that it won't leak and won't rust. Fingers crossed on that. It is an old car, they always rust, but I'm pretty impressed with the condition of this. Very happy. Okay, well, I'm calling that job done for now. Pretty much got all of the glue off. Hopefully it's good enough. Mostly just scratches that are still there now. Put some rust converter on anything that looked a little bit scabby. That's got to stay on there for 48 hours now before I do anything else, so that's it. That's all I can do. Move on to the next job, I suppose, which will be making a start on restoring the dash. That's going to be a big job. I watched a couple of YouTube videos which kind of aligned with what I was thinking I would do. I've just got to decide whether I'm going to paint it, which seems to be what everyone does on YouTube, or overlay it with some vinyl, which is actually what I was originally thinking I would do. So I'll keep thinking on that. Maybe I'll try one and then fail at it and then do the other. Let you decide which one I'm going to try first.